is understood.
I'm going to call our meeting to order with a pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In our roll call, Robert May is here. Michael Fritz is not here. Greg Zawala is not here. Derek Rhodes is here. Amanda is here. David Eggert is in Hawaii. Steve Geibel is here. Corey's here. Pamela Stevens is here. The Reverend Brenton is here. Warren Lubenow is en route, and Joan Linden Esquire is here. So, right now, we would typically have a public hearing on our joint comprehensive plan, but we do not have a quorum, so we cannot do any business that requires any type of voting. But what we could also do is, we'll skip over the council minutes, because that would make a motion. And we could, however, read our consolidated payment of bills report without any action item going on. So, as of 8/12/2026, we have a general fund of $129,133.42. Liquid fuels is $3,506.38. Sewer fund has $69,802.58. EMS tax fund has $16,000. Fire tax fund has $13,500. And also, we have our fund balances as of July 31st. General fund has $493,682.41. Liquid fuels has $143,310.03. Fire tax fund has $7,182.41. EMS tax fund has $5,021.65. Sewer fund has $257,180.00. And our reserve account has $342,347.52. So our total fund balance is $1,248,724.02. We also have a general fund escrow account that currently has $15,000 residing in it. We also have an outstanding loan balance of $561,381.71.
Warren is on the property.
Do you want to start with public comment? So you don't have to wait any longer?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So my name's Joe Tamanglo. I'm here on behalf of the Berks Catholic Lacrosse Club and I guess the banners. So I'm the boys director. I'm responsible for the banners. So I have a statement I can read, and then I answer any questions.
Sure.
Finally got here. Good one.
Amanda, let the record show that Warren's here, so we now have a quorum. And once we get done with the public meeting, we'll go back where we have to move on motions for voting.
All right. I want council to understand that these banners actually represent where they're located. They are simply roadside. They are not simply roadside commercial advertisements. These banners are located on private church-owned property with permission of the church. They're approximately 200 feet off PA Route 562, facing the parking lot and roadway. They're not sitting along the shoulder or in the public right-of-way, and they're not obstructing traffic or creating a sight distance issue. These banners simply thank local businesses that donate money to Berks Catholic Lacrosse, a nonprofit youth organization. These donations help maintain our fields, provide equipment, operate the program, and help children play lacrosse whose families may not otherwise be able to afford it. These fields don't benefit only Berks Catholic. If you're unaware, Exeter lacrosse had nowhere to play. Exeter School District removed them from the field, and Township wouldn't give them anywhere. So they reached out to me, and I've opened the fields to Exeter kids and St. Lawrence kids at no cost, and at no cost of my time to be there for none of our kids. Our parking lot, our private parking lot has also been used on multiple occasions by companies performing road improvement projects throughout St. Lawrence, sometimes without even asking permission. We don't make an issue of it because we've always tried to be good neighbors and support the community. Now that St. Lawrence is celebrating its 100th anniversary and the borough has asked to use these same privately owned church fields for its celebration, we agreed, no problem, even though it's pushing our lacrosse program out that weekend. But that's the same weekend, but I love Corey.
Way to go, Corey.
I love Corey. That's the weekend. I said, I'll make it work. We'll find a way to make it work.
Joe's, what's his name, Bill Heston, no, there's no
Yeah,
way.
I said for Corey, absolutely.
Thank you, Joe, thank you.
I think it's important to know these fields cost money to maintain. Some of this money comes from the local businesses whose banners are hanging on our fence. Sometimes I think that's a misconception that the diocese is paying for all that. That is literally me there working, painting the fields. They don't pay for anything.
Slumlords.
Yeah, so we're being asked to remove the banners thanking businesses that might help maintain the private property that have been made available to not only our kids, but Exeter kids, and then the St. Lawrence Borough itself. I did some research on the borough's ordinance. The borough's ordinance treats signs differently depending upon whether they are political signs, civic event signs, church signs, government signs, business signs, or any other type of message. In fact, the ordinance identifies signs used by churches and civic organizations, while elsewhere prohibiting certain off-premises business signs and making exceptions for civic signs. For the solicitor, if she wants to look it up, in 2024, I'm sure the ordinance is much older than this. The Third Circuit Court of Appeals addressed another borough's issue. It was Camp Hill Borough Republican Association versus Borough of Camp Hill, and they found that it was actually that ordinance dictating signage was unconstitutional. I'm not asking the council to do anything like that. I'm simply asking that the enforcement be paused so the solicitor can review the ordinance to see if we are actually out of compliance. If there's a legitimate safety, size, setback, or placement issue, I'm more than happy to discuss it. But these banners are on private church property, approximately 200 feet off the state roadway, thanking businesses that have supported our children maintaining these fields. And I think the three of them up there are like St. Lawrence businesses. We're not asking the borough for money. We're not asking the borough to maintain our fields. We're simply thanking the businesses that stepped up and helped. And I believe that's something St. Lawrence should support. Now, does anyone have questions about the signs?
I'll make a statement. So my understanding is several years ago we had the same issue. And we were trying to resolve whether it was a building code versus zoning or whatever. And so if it's an advertisement saying, hey, this is a lacrosse team, or this is a church, or this is something, that's not a commercial entity. But that's like saying, I as a property owner could put up a used billboard and say it's on my own private property, I can put a billboard up. Advertising, any business. So from our point of view, I think, and I may have to go back for other people, it's almost like commercial. But if the banners were just flipped around, pointing inward, there's no issue.
So what's the difference in with the church?
Well, if it said, Diocese of Allentown, that's not a commercial entity. But when you have a banner that is a commercial entity, that's essentially an advertisement. And I think you're allowed to put up like signs for anything for like 30 days under the building codes, like political signs and everything else.
Well, those are temporary.
Those are temporary signs.
And I think, as I recall, the Camp Hill case, that was based on, it singled out political signs to discourage, in a way to discourage them, as I recall. I'd have to look at the case again, it was a content-based regulation, that it was found to be, the Third Circuit, I believe, found it to be a content-based regulation of political signs.
So would there be like all this heartache if you just flip the signs around that they pointed? So if you're inside the fence line, you're now looking at the sign?
So it's not a violation if you're just looking at the back of the sign?
That's correct, because they're not an advertisement. You still get the people with commercial, everybody who comes to the field still sees them. It's just probably a subtle difference between, is that considered advertising and an
Right, you're allowed to treat commercial speech differently
Then,
than non-profit, political, philosophical. There is a higher level of regulation that's allowed of commercial, even if, regardless of the purpose, it is promoting a business. It's promoting the business in the.
So then is my St. Lawrence or my Berks Catholic lacrosse banner a violation?
That, well, I mean, that would be then educational, not.
organizational,
Yeah.
it's not advertising where any commercial, transactions occurring. Like, for instance, if I put up a huge sign saying, go to this Instagram page because I'm gonna get more money, we would probably go to that person and say, that's a billboard, it's a commercialized issue.
Okay, so if a church charges for a daycare, is that sign considered commercial?
Possibly.
So then going back to the church, their signs enter in the same violation as mine.
Right. So if someone complains about the church signs, we would contact the church.
But someone is complaining about my signs.
Yeah, someone called me because my name gets published as council president. That's really, we don't really go looking for all these things. We sort of respond to people's complaints. That's sort of like, we don't look in people's yards, we look at the street level, someone complains about.
We let all the neighbors walk their dogs back there. Like,
Once
so-
again, this could be someone who dislikes, kids, dislikes the church, dislikes signs. I don't know. I just get, and I relay it on. And so I say, listen, I think the concept is fine, except if you turn them around, there's no issue. Because now they're not seen from the public right of way or from the road. You can do whatever you want inside your own fence line.
And they also advertise to the.
The participants inside the venue
And-
as compared to the general public that goes back and forth.
Can I ask a question? So I don't find the signs offensive, and it makes it look like it's a nice high school field.
Yeah,
And the fact that it's so many feet off the road, but could he, instead of flipping them, could he move them around the side but still face out? That way, maybe if you're driving by, you see it.
Possible,
I think that's the
if-
intent, to
the,
help.
the complainer certainly will complain to me if they thought they were,
Well, what's our code? I mean, what is our code, and is it?
I think
Is it
we're
an
now,
actual violation? 'Cause
is it?
Yeah, is it an actual violation?
I think if we went into the building code, it would be.
Under this building?
No.
Zoning.
Zoning code, sorry, zoning.
The sign ordinance from way back, and Derek can also.
This is our engineer.
It has been very difficult. We've gone through so many iterations.
This is the problem I have with this. There's a section in there that specifically exempts nonprofit civic organizations. Now, there's a section at the bottom that says it does not exempt them from other regulations in the sign ordinance, so you can't put like a gigantic billboard in there. And the only other section that really references something in this case is you can't have signage in a commercial district. But then there's another section that talks about non-conforming properties within districts, like a business office was an example listed, in a residential district could still have signage.
And that's my point. It's very layered, it's very
Yeah.
confusing. It almost sounds like it's a commercial off-premise sign.
Well, it's not off premise, it's still on the
Well, no,
premise.
it's
Their businesses are off premise.
Right.
The advertisement is off premise of the business.
Correct, so that's where it falls under, is an off-premise sign, because it's an advertising sort of kind of.
Everything in
It's
municipal
like-
government is confusing and annoying,
It's a
I'll say that.
Or whatever it is, the
Yeah.
business. So,
So you think you'd have a heartburn if you flip them around so they're seen from the inside?
No, it just drives me crazy,
Well, welcome to municipal government.
because like, I almost want to move the lights back to football, because they were calling 911 to report lights were coming in, and I was nice enough to go move all the lights. So like, if they want to do the tit for tat stuff, then I'll just move all the lights back and have them,
I have not gotten a complaint about lights.
because they're calling 911.
Yeah, well, I have no knowledge of that.
See, I
It
think
really
if it were
needs
the
to be,
church's
yeah,
sign,
researched.
I think if it were the church's sign, it would be exempt, but because it's an off-premises sign promoting a commercial business, I don't think it's an exempt sign. I think a reasonable resolution is simply to turn it around onto the field so that business owners get credit to those attending, that they sponsor, that they help sponsor the field, sponsor activities.
So, but if these same people go out on their porch and look down into my stadium, and there's, the scoreboard has signage pointing back at them. Is that?
It's pointed inside your facility. That's how I'm looking at that. See, that's what our, be our defense. We're not gonna come after the scoreboard.
That was
signs.
resolved previously.
Yeah.
There were not temporary signs, but permanent signs put on the fence
Yeah.
back 20 years ago or whatever it was. And the resolution was you could put them at the back, around your scoreboard, put the permanent signs all there, and not put them on the fence, and that's where they were moved like 20 years ago.
The complainers-
If I'm correct.
Yeah, the complainer sounds like an old person. They probably can't see that far anyway back to the scoreboard.
And we never had a complaint about those signs that were back around the scoreboard.
Like if you had a Boy Scout of America sign, there probably would not be something we'd say. If it was like, but because it's a commercial business, that's advertising that business, even if it says, this business gives all our money to, the lacrosse team, it's still a off-premise advertising.
I have a very odd question. What if, it's gonna be so weird. What if it was a sign that says lacrosse team, and then in small writing, just put the business name right under it? Because it's advertising
I'm
lacrosse.
trying not to
team and everything.
make them buy all new signs and everything, I'm just trying to flip them around
But is that legal?
I think
and walk
flipping, I
away.
think flipping them around into the stadium, directed into the stadium for their intended audience, and that is the intended audience, because they're sponsoring the event, is the best resolution to this, and it takes it out of the definitions of the sign ordinance.
Correct.
And then simply a decoration in the stadium, on private property, exposed only to private property.
If you think on it too much, you'll be like us, you'll
Yeah,
just start.
I don't know.
You'll just,
I spent all that time in work putting them up, facing out, and now I'll take them down and put them all back up. It's, okay. So if I don't, then I just get cited, the lacrosse program gets cited.
Yeah, we would probably cite the property owner, so that.
So the property owner gets
The
cited?
diocese will get cited.
Okay. All right. So that brings other violations though for other churches though with signage where they.
If someone complains about something, we usually have, I thought there was like a 30-day to almost everything. Like technically, when you put up your Christmas lights under the National Electric Code, they gotta be down in 30 days. So that's temporary light. Otherwise, it has to be done by an electrician, you have to pull electrical permit. We don't go around looking for stuff like that. We just let it go down the road. But if someone would suddenly complain, some electrician in the borough would start complaining about every Christmas light, we would then probably investigate more.
Okay.
We appreciate the cooperation.
Yeah. We'll see. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Does it get cleared up at the next meeting with the with how that case all reads? And if it's the ordinances fit?
We're sort of going off our engineer explaining that it's off,
Well, the
yeah.
zoning officer
Yeah.
researched it, it is on the premise side.
Talked about it, yeah.
And I don't think that there's any wiggle room, unfortunately. The borough council can authorize Joan and myself and Derek to work together.
I don't even think we can technically, as a council, say, go ahead and do it. You would have to go to the zoning hearing
That's my
board.
point.
So I have to go to the zoning.
You have to hire an attorney, you have to have a stenographer, you have to pay a fee.
All right.
It's
That's
like a
fine.
court.
I'll move my lights back, I'll move everything back.
What's
Okay.
the fine? How much is the fine?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
It,
it's
it,
great.
it starts
Great.
accumulating daily, so.
It's accumulating daily?
Yeah.
For a citation?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's for a good cause, however, it's a zoning issue that we can't, waive. We can't magically let it go.
But the lacrosse signs can stay facing out.
Because they're not commercial
Yeah, that's
entities.
fine. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank
All
you.
right.
No,
Here's
I just-
some out.
I wanna know what's going on with the water.
Oh,
That's the reason I'm here.
we want to, let us wait till we get get down a little bit more, because,
You just pointed at me, I just said.
oh, I'm just trying to get you out.
I'm trying to jump in.
It's public open because we didn't have a quorum, so if you wanna ask about water, what's going on with the water in terms of Mount Penn water?
Yeah.
We disagree with what they wanna do.
Okay.
We filed some, legal stuff, and we're gonna see where, our attorney talks to their borough attorney and talks to the authority attorney, and we'll get updated in executive session because it's legal. So I can tell you that.
I mean, there's two actions pending in court. There is the one that the borough filed against Mount Penn and the Mount Penn Borough Authority, and then there's one that Mount Penn Borough filed against the authority to get them to sign the certificate of dissolution at some point, and it's for what's called mandamus, to make them do something. Make them do a specific act. So the Mount Penn Borough Authority still exists. It hasn't been abolished yet. No new authority has been established, and they haven't entered into the conveyance lease back as of yet.
So
that's the status of it.
Many years ago, St. Lawrence owned its own water system, and they sold it to Mount Penn Borough Authority for $40,000.
Yeah,
1966,
$48,000 in 1968.
68. With a reverter clause that said, if this is ever used for the benefit of St. Lawrence citizens, we get it back. So we notified Mount Penn about that. They apparently did not have that agreement when they started working down this road they're going to. We also don't think anybody in St. Lawrence paying a water bill that money, part of that money should be going into Mount Penn Borough's general funds. We think that's against the law. They don't think that way. So that's why we went to court try to get some clarifications, like a third party, negotiator, essentially mediator, maybe is a better word.
Is it only up to the council to figure that out, or do they have to take a vote?
What's in terms of what?
Whether they can sell it or not?
Actually, the council has the authority, empowers the authority. So they can dissolve an authority, they can do whatever they want. So the council holds all the key.
Right,
As
as long as
Mount Penn Council. Yeah, sorry.
As long as the debt is paid.
Right.
There's financial obligations there, and the borough would have to pay off the debt or settle the debt.
So they have a loan from Penvest to do some work on a water tank and some other things. So there's been comments that Mount Penn Borough doesn't have a financial rating to actually be able to go to a bank and get a loan to pay off the Penvest loan. So that sort of clouds that issue too. Like, how would they dissolve the authority that has the loan without taking on the loan? Unless, Penvest agrees to all that. So there's like all these moving parts going around. And, we're not, St. Lawrence Council in particular, because we didn't have a really good experience when Exeter sold their wastewater treatment plant, are very hyper about these joint municipality things where it doesn't seem like there's always a spirit of cooperation.
I just see it, the development I live in is half PA American Water, half it's not, Mount Penn Water. And my rates are significantly lower. I don't think it's gonna have a huge impact on the people living in the township.
Yeah, so the St. Lawrence Borough owns our sewer collection piping, okay? Because we do that, we have a bulk rate with PA America for our sewage. So right now, St. Lawrence citizen pays probably 40% of the bill an extra person next door pays for the same amount of water. And that's our leverage. And there's a standing offer, PA America says if you ever want to sell that system, go ahead. We don't think we're going to do that because that's our leverage to maintain low rate.
Correct.
So we don't see any good coming about for Mount Penn to take over the authority's water system, raise rates, take some of that money to run the borough, or potentially sell the system off to somebody else, or to lease it off to somebody, and then they still own it. So we probably sent 6 to 8 communications to them,
Yes.
explaining our position, explaining what we think. Some of them get answered, some don't, some just say, we don't agree.
Yeah, we've gotten somewhere with.
Yeah, so-
Agreeing to.
So
We need to take it further.
we think our only action right now is to bring in a judge who reads reads the same law and says either St. Lawrence is right or Mount Penn Borough's right.
Somebody's gonna be right, somebody's gonna be wrong.
Right.
And just 'cause
But
we're quiet,
we've
we're
made
very
numerous
let's go.
communications to try to resolve this without going to court. We've threatened to go to court, we've offered a couple things, and nothing comes about with our offering not to go to court. So we're headed to court.
That's okay. I mean, I'd rather go to court than increasing rates. We just had to agree on the increase in the rate, right? It was,
Yeah,
it was-
they published some information that they would certainly increase the rates in the future, so they could, I'll use the word skim, but it's a payback of $700,000 a year. So that $700,000 a year has to come from the ratepayers. A third of the ratepayers are St. Lawrence citizens. So we don't think that's in the best interest of St. Lawrence citizens,
Right.
to be in that arrangement.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't think so either. Now, I know what my bill is, my bill's like $167 every 3 months compared to some people living in a neighborhood that are $500.
And we even made an offer and said, carve out St. Lawrence and make that a separate rate schedule that doesn't include all this money going off to the borough. And we don't have an issue then, because then we don't feel the water bill's helping to subsidize the general fund of the borough. And they didn't like that idea either. Almost every idea we brought up, they didn't like.
Of course they're not gonna like it, they're losing a third of their money.
Well, they could bump the other 2/3 up higher to make up for that third. I mean, there's options, they just don't, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes the communication comes from them, it says one thing, and then something comes later, and it's just like, well, that contradicted the previous one. So, you know, I'm almost of the opinion we're gonna have to get people under a judge's eye, where they can't, quote unquote, they're gonna have to be sworn to give honest testimony and things like that. Because right now, I can say whatever I want, and I'm not held to any standard.
Right.
You know, in court, you are. So we're doing our best, believe me.
Well, no, I think that you are. I think you are. I just wanted to know where we stood, what the update was
Yeah.
as far as.
We don't have a nuclear option yet, but if we think of one, we'll probably put that in the mix too.
There used to be newsletters, right? Did the newsletters get? sent
Yeah,
out?
we sort of blacked out on that. Amanda?
Have we? Have we neglected
Do you have
that?
Savvy Citizen? There's
They're
signs all over for
online.
Savvy Citizen, that's where things get updated, and there is in
Wait,
black.
so I don't get a newsletter anymore?
No.
It's online.
We looked,
I know.
we looked at
Come
Listen,
on.
$5,000 a year out of your tax money.
the, was to
what's
maintain the mailing permit.
Okay,
No
Yeah.
way,
okay.
no way.
Listen, how many people don't even know about the Savvy Citizen?
There's signs all over, and
Where are these signs at?
there's
Speak
one
up.
right at the end of the street here.
Oh, so if I don't come down this street or come
Yeah.
here, I don't see it.
There's a card right here that you can take, Corey will give you one. And if you actually want to hand one, like an actual flyer,
Here's a couple.
when
It-
they come
Very
out,
easy to get on.
It came down to, are we justified spending $5,000 to send out paper thing? And
no,
we
it
said,
wasn't, it was not.
so we decided not to.
If you
And I-
actually want to hand like a printed one, you can always come in when they do go out. I haven't done the fall one yet. You can always come in, I'll print one out for you. When you
Call the number, leave your name, say, hey, I still want a printed one.
Yeah,
Man,
I'll
I'll take
send
care of
to
it.
you.
So how many people are going online now to see this?
I have no idea, it's Amanda.
300 to something.
300? How many people are in the borough?
There's,
Well, there's 1,800 on the census, but that's everyone.
that's literally everyone.
That's
We
people
mailed
who
out-
can't
we
read.
mailed out 860 letters.
There's like 700 buildings, so.
Yeah.
That's
structures.
also like
Yeah.
an alert, that's an alert, like a red alert if there's a water main break or anything, and then the newsletter comes
Were
on there.
these mailed out?
No, I didn't, no.
Did it go to the tax bill?
I think I did mail those out with the last newsletter. The last newsletter, those were on there.
I didn't have one.
Not the actual cards, but the,
Yeah, the
Yeah,
newsletter.
they sort of had
In-
the actual, like, that information on.
Yeah, that
the
paper
last
newsletter's
newsletter.
probably on eBay, worth a couple of bucks.
Yeah, the QR code and everything was in the last newsletter. That was mailed out.
That newsletter was
Yeah,
18 months ago.
So if you wanna come back next month, we might have some update on the water, but it's, you know, it's tedious. It's tedious.
Yeah.
We're on it.
But we're certainly on it.
Yeah, we're
Everything
just quiet.
possible to try.
Wow.
Yeah, we're just quiet.
And we certainly do not want to see it sold to a third party.
No,
We've made that very clear to everybody.
but it sounds like it doesn't, whether you made it clear or not, doesn't sound like we have a choice if they decide to want it out.
Well,
We
we'll
have
take our
legal
chances in
action.
court, you know?
Yeah.
just because you say I don't agree doesn't mean that's the final answer. That's some of the, you know, some of our comments back are like, well, we don't agree with that. So like say, I think you're speeding. Okay, we'll find out.
So you said there was something in it that said if it wasn't for the borough, we could get it back?
Yeah, there was a reverter clause. At least it specifies the parcel where the water tank is up here. And some other things.
If it's no longer used for providing water
Water.
for the borough, then it would be
So-
revert back to revert back to the borough. The question is the interpretation of that.
So we're even saying, well, if you decide to sell the whole thing, we own that water tank, you can't sell that. And they go, we don't agree with that. So I mean, it's just the same tactic over and over again.
Yeah.
I don't agree. So,
There's no way that the township could afford it?
what's that? So do we want to buy that water system? Not when we gave it to them at a discounted rate, 50 years ago.
We can't, let's not do that. Let's not spite the whole community just because we give them a discount rate. That's not fair either. Right? I mean, I understand.
I'll ask our engineer to come up with a first level engineering and to put in our own water well and water plant. How's that sound?
Why, so that's the answer, instead of trying to buy back, because we sold to them at a discount rate?
I think we did offer to buy it.
We did offer to buy it back.
And that was.
That was my original question. You said, your answer to my question was, we're not gonna buy it back since we gave them a discounted rate, which.
We did offer to buy it back, but I think the problem, and then we offered the first right of refusal, if they would ever sell.
If they ever sold it, we want the right to buy it
Right,
first.
the first right
And,
to buy it.
and they've not agreed to any of these things we've said. So, it's like, if you're gonna have a negotiation, there has to be a back and forth. And I don't know if we're really seeing a back and forth right now.
Right, we're seeing one way and the other.
And so,
That's part of the question I was answering.
Yeah. So, and we think the only way is to bring in a third party mediator, which is a judge. We think we have legal grounds for them not to do certain things. They don't think so, so we'll let a judge decide. And our opinion is the judge is gonna be mad when he gets this. And he's gonna say, you guys got 60 days to iron this out because I don't want this in my court. That's what we feel is probably gonna happen. So we'll see. I can't imagine Judge Loving to get this on his docket.
No.
So. Savvy citizen.
I didn't even know we had a
Yeah.
website.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll go back to our other stuff. You want to stay?
No, where are the signs at?
There's one right out this door.
At the
There's
door.
always, there's.
There are a couple on, there are a few on St. Lawrence Avenue, but they're just the size of political signs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because otherwise
They
they,
drive by.
the diocese would be in there telling us to remove them. If we left them up too much longer.
Where the car wash is, there's one on that corner, the car wash is. There's one on Lake Avenue,
On the playground.
there's one on the playground.
I just want to, it'd be nice to know what's going on, the newsletters and.
Call, leave a message. She'll pick it up tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I wonder, now that I know this, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't know that this was what we were doing.
Yeah.
Apparently, I didn't look at my
There's-
newsletter closely enough to see that you guys were changing it.
Yeah.
It has a lot of features in that you can
Yeah,
get
I understand.
severe weather warnings or not. You
I
can
get them on
get
my
street
phone.
closures,
Yeah, you'll get like
closings
text
or not.
messages.
And
Well,
snow
the-
plow, emergency
You
snow
get your
plowing,
email or
things like
text
that.
message, or like when the road closes, they're doing road work or anything, I'll send out an alert that there's a road closure, or when like the road closes for snow, or they need space to move their car, like I did last year, to move their car so they can plow, I'll post it up so you know.
I don't think I moved my car last year.
Chris lives diagonally across from me.
Yeah.
That's not snow emergency route, so that's okay.
I couldn't even get out to move my car last year, but one is actually.
Yeah.
So, but all of that stuff
Okay.
is put on there.
Well, if you're good, talk to Warren across the street, up across the street. We're gonna move on if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay?
You wanna restart?
Yeah. So so Warren's here, we now have a forum, so I'm gonna go back to our original agenda.
No, I just want to know what's going on with the water.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Good point.
Thanks, guys.
So we're gonna have a public hearing on the St. Lawrence, Exeter, Amity, Douglas Joint Comprehensive Plan, but nobody's here for the public, so our public hearing is now closed.
All right, we have in the agenda that there were 2 notices that were published.
Right.
Put this in the minutes, in the Reading Eagle, July 17th and August 3rd. There were no members of the public to comment,
We need a motion to approve resolution 942
2026.
6. Is there such a motion?
I'll make that motion. Second.
Motion moved, seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. So we'll go back to council minutes. So before you are the council minutes from July 9th, 2026. Are there any corrections, clarifications, or changes, or can the minutes be approved as presented? Is there such a motion?
I'll make the motion, we approve them as presented.
Second.
Motion moved and seconded to approve the minute meetings. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Approval of payment of bills. I had already read our consolidated payment of bills report. Is there a motion to pay the bills as presented?
Second.
Motion been moved and second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Approval of treasurer's report. I've read the treasurer's report. Is there a motion to accept and file for audit the consolidated treasurer's report for July 2026?
Make a motion to accept the treasurer's report and file for audit. Second.
Motion been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. We had a public comment period talking about the signs and about the water. We're up to a consultant report with our engineer.
Okay.
He's allowed.
If all of you can picture 31 North Bingham was
Yeah.
part of the Hafer Heights subdivision way back. This was phase 2. The lot 3, I believe, Derek, was the one with the farmhouse, and lot 4
Lot
was the
4.
one with the farmhouse.
That's the one we currently have the escrow account for.
Right, so what happened is a new developer came in to buy it and now wants to subdivide it. So Derek worked very hard and I reviewed his information and we believe that what the applicant is trying to do does not align with the zoning ordinance, and especially the definitions of like street frontage. This individual, of course, wants to have 2 properties so they can rent them out and make more money, but it would be a zoning challenge.
So he would have to go to zoning hearing board and try to prove some sort of hardship, and there probably is no hardship. Gotcha.
Financial hardship is not a hardship.
Doesn't count,
That's
no.
correct. So that's 31 North Bingham, so but stay tuned, you never know, this was.
This gentleman's been known to push
Thank you.
things.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, exactly. The Moore grant, we got 3 additional months because there were some things with the audit that they want us to supplement. Some of the things which we didn't do, like core drill through your wall to see the building envelope. So we may have to, yes, they want us to do that. We may have to work with an architect, like this age of the building, what is the typical building envelope? Keyboard motorcycle. So, but we're gonna get all that addressed, complete the template.
Are these typical things you saw before in other applicants?
Yes, but in other words, if you don't have plans, we can't answer them.
Right.
Now they're saying, no, we need you to answer them, and we're like, okay, we will. We'll
Yeah.
do it to the best of our ability, make assumptions, and then conclude the level 2 audit, and in between also finalize the solar panels and all the other things. Why that extension was approved is the original date of the effective date of the grant was August of 2024. The grant was not signed until December 31st, 2024, so we could not start it until early 2025. So the Moore grant liaison was able to say, guys, you delayed all of these people at least 4
Right,
or 5
so they need an
months.
extension now.
And we got, a bunch of us got a 3-month extension. So this will allow the level 2 audits to be completed, the solar design to be completed, and all the reimbursements. And you're still well under budget of the $50,000 that is allocated to you. So good news.
Are we able to use a loan? Because that's a low end, you can buy down the interest on it, correct?
You can, that's up to you. And that would be done now under the energy conservation measures. You go to that 3rd phase, and then I would reach out directly to Elena and work with her on how that process goes. My SDE world was level 2 audit and energy conservation. The buyback of the loan bit is more financial, and that's up with you and Amanda. And congratulations, you got green light, your loan. Yes, so we have 2 huge projects. We have the sidewalk ADA ramp project, and we have, I'll call it the McDonald's lane. So that's why we apply for grants, because you never know if you're gonna get them. So congratulations, you have 2 huge grants that are really gonna improve the
So-
walkability and the safety of the pedestrians and vehicles.
So is it mostly TPD is gonna be working on that as compared to you, or are you like stewarding TPD for us?
Yes,
TPD
that's all
will,
true.
TPD will likely get it, we haven't got the grant contract back,
Gotcha.
because TPD says to make sure that it says, if it's federal funding, I think they said you have to do an RFP.
Gotcha.
If it's
No,
pen-
we
No.
have, all of the green light goes we did for West Reading Borough did not have to have.
He said just to make sure the grant doesn't have it. So I
Yes,
have,
all of the other previous I've done 8 through 11 now with West Reading Borough. None of them had to have that. They all were professional services agreement, PSAs with TPD directly.
but it will likely be TPD.
Yeah. Can you make sure as part of your stewardship that the light that gets replaced up by McDonald's becomes like one of those huge box type things that you see like on the Pennsylvania Turnpike or something, not an arm weighted down with 17 signals, like that one is now?
I think PennDOT's gonna have a lot of jurisdiction on that.
Be sure to keep your ear to that with TPD,
But both.
so that they don't do that again. Because I think that was a PennDOT decision last time, and I won't give them all this evidence why it's not a good idea again.
So we should have an opportunity to look at the HOP plans on all of them. So Derek and I will make sure that we coordinate with TPD to say, no, council wants to look at this, and.
I will say, one of the things I wanna make sure we implement is actually this joint comp plan, because they already have that concept of how they wanted to align some of that.
Okay.
So we have the poles already lined up for that, we don't have to do that again, or someone doesn't spend money on that again down the road.
All right?
So congratulations, like you had said before, payment applications, updates, I will be your steward for that. So TPD is just your professional designer, on the outside. And then the engineer's report and any actions that you need to do on a monthly basis for both of those would be Derek and I coordinating, so.
Do you want to explain to the rest of council about the controllers that went bad and how we're going to rob them?
I figured we'd touch on that public works.
Okay, fine. Is that it?
That's all I have, but again, congratulations, good for you guys.
Solicitor?
Okay, well, we've already started discussing the litigation, and executive session to discuss developments and going forward. I've also provided a draft agreement, for the use of Szymanski Stadium, for the centennial celebration. I've given it to the secretary, for review and to pass along to the diocese.
Sounds
So
good.
We're ahead on that, so I'll just wait, Dice's comments on that, and any comments that Derek or Amanda would have.
Thank you. Mayor?
Okay, so I do have a report in file. There was no police commission meeting in August, but I'm happy to say we have established a schedule of events, calling it Cheers to 100 Years. There are 4 events that you can read about. One thing we need council's decision on is on payroll for public works and office staff for 3 events. The events will be held on the weekend, both of which will require setup and cleanup, either on the day before or the day after. So I just wanted to put that thought out there, how you want to handle that, or how we.
So they're giving an estimate in the next meeting what that'll be, what the additional charges will be for payroll, overtime for staff. How's that?
Sure.
And we'll authorize it via some resolution at the next meeting. And it'll get thrown into the budget next year for a centennial event.
Sure.
All right, will that work?
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Do we have to hire police, extra police for,
They're all gonna be there.
Yeah,
so we're already paying for them all to be there? Okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
Okay.
I thought, do we have to, authorize additional shifts because it's a special event?
No, because it's a Saturday, so I think they're already whoever's on shift, same as Laura, the ambulance, they already said they're gonna be there.
Okay,
Mount Penn Fire and Exeter Fire are both gonna be there.
Awesome.
outstanding.
Yeah, so take a look at the events. Hopefully, all of you can make it, and if you can make it, we will give you a t-shirt. And the t-shirts are going to be for the volunteers. So you'll be an official. So our next meeting will be this coming Wednesday. Yeah, the 18th. And you're all invited,
Sounds good.
okay?
Let's go to staff reports, finance, anything, manager?
Well, my report is attached, if you wanted to
No,
peruse through that.
just bring up high topics.
Hired a new public works employee, his name's Joe Moser, worked here before as a playground leader back in 2011 to 2012 and 2014.
Our playground's now becoming our farm.
Yeah, that's fine.
I saw an email to that effect.
But that's fine, that's fine.
And I wanna say that Sherry's working over it.
Anything on public safety, public works? You wanna go public works?
I said, you want to jump right into public works.
Go ahead.
With the signal stuff, we discovered with the past month, we were given a notice from Telco that our signals at Prospect and Bingaman, the detection systems were failing, much like the one at Elm Street did.
Now remember, Elm Street had that like 8 months where they couldn't repair it until they could get it repaired. So Elm Street got repaired through, 10-year-old technology.
Yeah, they have to rebuild the processor. It's essentially a gigantic computer, but it's not big, but it's a computer that operates the signal detection with the camera. So that whole processor system isn't really advised. PennDOT allows it, but they don't advise it to be used in any future installation. Because of this happening where the processor fails, it takes a long time to get them rebuilt, and they're at a cost of $12,000 per intersection.
Oh, jeez.
So we've been recommended by Telco to change our signal detection system to a different camera type. It's called an 8-ball. It's instead of a single detection camera, there's now multiple cameras for detection zones. That right now is being estimated to be $6,000 to $8,000 per signal that has 2 lanes of detection for replacement or changing. We are also going to move one of our systems from one of our T intersections like Elm Street or Orla Turnpike Road to Bingaman Street, where there's more priority intersections. That way we don't have to rely on a new system. We can just swap them out, and we'd save money by putting the new system at a single detection intersection.
So Elm Street would go back to the timer not being repaired and fully operational. If we did that, trying to not spend the money to upgrade signals because we have 2 new signals coming in probably 3 years.
So we just automatically cycle.
We'll take some lower priorities, ones that are working, move them to the failed ones, and Elm Street sort of gets to be like the redheaded stepchild and goes back to being on the timer. Unless we want to spend
We haven't gotten a quote.
$8,000 to get them both fixed.
I haven't gotten a quote on that yet. But
Well, is the 8-ball, is that compatible with the new thing that PennDOT's gonna be putting on the grant
Sure.
signals?
Mhm.
Okay. But we couldn't recover that cost. Could we recover the cost of the 8-ball now, once we got the grant?
Once you start the grant, it's that day forward, you can't do any engineering or any other features.
Can you double check if we wanted to go replace 2 8-balls, could we take that out of grant money? Because they would be there when they got upgraded anyway.
Correct.
Right.
But it would have to be, once the grant,
Sure.
like go 11's awarded, you can always modify your scope.
Is that like within the next 60, 90 days?
I would believe so, right there.
So that's an option.
You can sign a contract
Circle
with
back,
any
which 2
modifications.
signals fall under the green light code? Besides the one
The
McDonald's.
McDonald's and Ole Turnpike, Black Barrel, those are the 2 on the green light code, correct?
Green light goes only.
Procurement.
I thought we had 2 signals.
No, the grant that we applied for was only for the McDonald's signal.
Gotcha,
But
only McDonald's.
you can always go back to PennDOT and say, we have a situation that just came up. Can we modify our scope of work to include? That's how you would approach it.
I think we should take a stab at trying to get the 8-balls through the grant as soon as we get the grant money kids and see what they say.
I'm gonna have to
Especially
reach out to them.
when you put it out for bid, if it comes under your grant, then you're doing great. And that's how. all-
And that would solve our problems, make us all legal that way.
Yeah, so far so good. West Wayne Borough, every green light code grant has come under budget of what the grant amount was, and they.
In worst case scenarios, we would do it and they would say no, we would either hang or, appeal or something, so.
Well, we'd be in no different shape than we'd be in now.
It's
Right.
worth trying.
Yeah. Can you steward that part, asking them? Yep.
Miss 100% of the shots you don't
Anything else, public work safety, anything? Should we go to committee? The library, Mike's not here. Warren, we just passed our joint comp plan, so we'll move forward. Ms. Belanza, anything new?
Nothing.
Recreation, Dave's not here. Ended August 7th. Planning Commission, we don't have anything coming up on Planning Commission, do we? Nope. Nothing coming up on zoning unless there's a sign appeal coming sooner or later. So, recreation, I had mentioned about our retentive incentive. Did you guys ever work on that?
Worked on it.
for the playground leaders?
That's in here in new business.
Okay, fine. General comments, public meetings, all public meetings are held at St. Lawrence Borough Municipal Building at 135 North Prospect Street. Changes to office hours were closed on September 7th for another holiday. Old business, entering the LED street lighting agreement with Met First Ed for a 10-year term and phase out the high pressure sodium, start putting in the LEDs. Have you reviewed that, Counselor?
No, I've never seen it.
You sent that to her?
Yeah,
Do we have
Yeah,
to?
we started that last month.
Oh, that was last month, okay.
Yeah, the vendor.
Are we up against the
Maybe I did-
deadline?
Maybe I reviewed it then. I don't remember, that's.
Is there a motion to approve the LED street lighting agreement based on final review of the solicitor and secretary?
Just
I'll
second.
make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes.
And the sodium lights will go on and off and on and off.
Comcast, is there anything new on that, solicitor? Still
In
working?
progress, yeah.
Yeah. New business. We have a new public works employee, Joe Moser. Started already. He's on vacation this week. So we need to add Joe Moser and Mike Fitz and remove Jen Ulrich and Logan Wood from appointments. So we need a resolution updating borough appointments as of August 13th as assistant codes and assistant zoning officers for Joe and Mike. Is there such a motion?
I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded to update our zoning, assistant code and assistant code zoning officers. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion passes. Updated fee schedule. So we're looking to increase our fee on special hearings for residential and commercial. And this will up the sewer charge, was adopted on June 11th. So now the recreation fee for new construction fee of $400 per section 5952 of saldo was added back into the fee schedule. Is that just a fee where anybody comes in, wants land development, we sort of get, dollars instead of recreation?
Say it's every new home that gets built without recreational space.
Correct. And it's always been in the saldo, and it used to be in the fee schedule for whatever reason.
Because it somehow got dropped.
Yeah, it's somehow
Okay.
out, but it's in there again.
So is there a motion to approve resolution 944-2026 with these fee schedule adjustments?
Make that motion. Second.
Motion been moved and seconded for resolution for the fee schedule adjustments. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Number 4, pay for playground leaders. Playground leaders were called off due to smoke conditions from Canadian wildfires and for extreme heat. Is the borough going to pay for lost days? I mentioned this to staff that, when I used to be a struggling college kid, I counted on working X amount of days to get X amount of money to be able to go to school. And if we called them off due to smoke or heat or something like that, maybe they're counting on so many days pay anyway. And since we turned them away, should we pay them those days? So I open up to council discussion.
It's in the budget.
I
said it's in the budget.
It's in the budget, they would have been paid if we had been open. They just didn't get paid because they weren't there. So we were gonna try to make this
Are we gonna put, can I just ask, we're gonna put a limit on the excessive heat? Like, I don't want these kids coming in at 17 years old thinking, oh, it's 90 degrees, we're gonna get called
I will
off
say,
at
the
some
one day was like 94, and we didn't have the heat warning yet. It was the next day, and they were like, oh, it's really hot, I don't think we should open the playground. And Susan was like, all right, that's fine, we'll just post the door. So like, they willingly didn't want to work
They
that day.
don't want
They
it.
made the
I will caution you all that OSHA just published new heat standards. And it's like at 88 degrees, you gotta start taking the temperature and the wet bulb. And you have to have mandatory water breaks, mandatory shade, mandatory everything else, so.
Yeah, we're not OSHA standard.
No,
And
but
we're
I'm
also
trying to,
outside,
but we are
have-
an employer of people, and you can't make them less safe.
No, but they have continuous water, they also have hoses, they have water slides, they're doing water.
I will move your desk out in the sun on those
I
hot
would
days.
love it.
Oh, that's,
You don't have to tempt me for that, but they're also playing in water, they have the water guns, they have the water sports.
Right. Do you have so we're talking maybe 3 days pay at this? Were you had a chance to look at it?
I don't have the exact.
Is there a motion to
Six.
reimburse them for the days lost to smoke or heat up to 3 days pay?
Have to read the agenda.
Are we gonna do this every year, and what?
We're not asking every year, we're asking this year, right here, right now.
So this is only
It's
one,
forever.
or is this forever? Is this only
No, it's
one
not
time?
forever.
It's to be evaluated on a case-by-case.
Right.
basis.
This is this council with these leaders this year.
Just this
What
one
do-
time?
Yes.
Maybe you'd like to even put in the motion going forward to be evaluated on a case-by-case.
There's no ongoing from this. This is for this calendar year closing playground closed.
Okay.
So it's reevaluated every playground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that sound better?
All All right, then that way, it doesn't even have to go in motion.
Is there such a motion?
How much of it was smoke and how much of it was heat? I mean,
There was 2
2
days
days
of
of
smoke.
smoke, 1 day of heat, wasn't it?
I think it was 3
We
days.
had 3 days of heat, I think. So it's higher.
It was like a Thursday, Friday, and then another Friday.
Yeah, if
That's
we
higher
tell
rate.
them you should go home, then we should pay them, but if they say, it's odd, I wanna go home, well, then you're taking a sick day, going home.
They don't get sick days.
Well,
We're
going
gonna take a
home,
day
or
without.
just going home,
Once again, they showed up for work, we said there was no work.
right, they
I'll make
would
a
have been
motion
there
to
if,
pay the missed days this week, to be evaluated again next year.
Second?
Second.
Motion moved and seconded for this payment adjustment. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Wall of recognition. So we talked about, we have our new plaque, and we're talking about putting it to the left of the multimedia board.
Mhm.
Does that sound reasonable? Maybe up high in case there's someone in the future, one's below that. So we'll start
Yeah.
working our way around or something like that.
I think
Did
You
we,
had, and the reason we had it on there, you had brought up maybe if you wanted to have.
like a community service
community
recognition board.
one,
Right.
and you had brought it up about it, or do you want individual ones, do you want? That's
Yeah.
not under, because you had brought it to me.
Yeah, I brought this up, is it fair if someone was a firefighter their whole life? And was a citizen of the borough? And, they were a public servant in that volunteer work. Do they deserve a picture or a plaque? So that's what I'm sort of asking council, do we want to start doing that? Because we have nice walls to put up stuff now, if we want to do that or
I'll
not.
say we're a longtime council member.
No, or manager, no.
So we did.
well, we had talked about for Allison, did we ever do anything?
Well, we made a plaque, yeah, we could put the plaque up.
Oh, okay, it's out there?
Yeah.
it's
Okay. I always come in here.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking so much of employees or staff, I was thinking, more of, maybe he's a Boy Scout leader his whole life and he was a Boy Scout troop here, I'm asking council to think about that for future participants. Because what's a plaque cost us, $100?
We can either do individual ones, or we can get the one that's like the one big one. and
For your,
with the-
for service and then
with
years,
Little nameplates on, no, just little nameplates on it.
yeah.
And just add a name,
Oh, yeah.
and you can do it that way, if
Suggest
someone wants to
person
bring
and
it up
then
and it's up to
Vote
council,
on it.
accept that
I mean,
nomination if you want.
for running the playground program for 30 years,
Mhm.
like I have somebody. I mean, is that?
Yeah. Something like that. So, is that okay? We'll look at it case by case, let council bring up suggestions for candidates.
What should I order like one of those big plaques with the nameplates on it, and then we can always just engrave the names onto it?
Where we just get a plate engraved and you stick it right on there.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking about, for outstanding community service,
Correct.
in the years of the borough or something.
Maybe it should say that, outstanding
Community
community
service.
service.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
And then their name and what they did 30 years.
That doesn't even fill up the walls.
What's
This
that?
way there's not 100,000 different like random plaques over here. It's all
Yeah.
very.
Make sure it's,
I know what you're talking about.
old people can read it from the screen. So, resolution 945-2026, LSA Category 4 grant for $29,381.50. I'm sorry, what is this for?
That is for a John Deere UTV Gator. That's like a woods assisting vehicle for maintenance. You can plow parking lots like ours, it's tight parking lot, plow sidewalks.
And it's got the air conditioner on
It is a full cab with AC and heat. So if a council member would like to take a ride in the woods,
it? And this is this is a grant application, is what we're stating. It's not an expenditure.
fully funded.
Yeah. So is there a motion to approve that resolution?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion moved and seconded to approve the resolution requesting House Lake Category 4 grant. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. And then we have another resolution requiring a grant for a John Deere subcompact utility tractor with attachments for $41,000 and some odd change.
This is also another property maintenance vehicle item, but it also has more sidewalk driven devices like a balloon, smaller plow. I do have a suspicion that we're gonna be the ones plowing the sidewalk at the post office once we do this multimodal grant, because I don't think they're gonna have any intentions of doing that. We have to do the bridge anyway, so if we have to just drive out of here to our sidewalk and just continue
We're
down.
going to conveniently forget to pull the broom up when we're doing the sidewalk in front of the post office.
Would you
You
do
could,
everybody
yeah.
else too?
So is there a motion to approve the resolution requesting this LSA category? What category is this for? Four grant, sorry, there was a typo there.
We put it in two separate ones because we felt it would be.
Well, there's a number sign instead of number 4.
Is it? Oh, yeah, there we go. But did two separate ones.
Yeah, it's 9:46. Is there a motion for that resolution?
I'll make a motion to approve 946-2026 LSA category 4 grant for $41,171.32. Second.
Motion been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. Discuss LED lighting conversion color temperature.
Back of your book. I'm leaving this one to count. And there's only 4 here, so I can hardly wait.
Let's see who wins on this one.
So it used to be if you had high pressure sodium lights, like our typically our lights are now, if there was blood on asphalt, you could not see it. It was like, for some reason, the color coming off the HED lights didn't give you true color readings all the time. So help me out here, engineers, as a general rule of thumb, the lower the number, the more truer the color is, the warmer it looks. It doesn't have the white, harsh, whitish light. So like the 5K and 4K is a whitish light,
When we're talking about LEDs.
the LEDs,
When we're talking about-
and 3K is like a warmer.
It's like sodium,
Yeah.
it looks like the high pressure sodium to me, it's that yellow.
So you're asking us what we want when we talk to Med Ed, because we got a choice?
Well, we have to decide now when they start converting, which ones they're converting them to.
Is there a straw vote here? I'm a 3 guy.
If somebody has like, I don't know, like a Ring camera, do any one of these lights affect it? Like, with the 3K, would you not be able to
It's
see a
on-
person's face, or?
Well, it tells you on the top, so like the top one, 4K, better for areas for safety, the other one's more inviting for residential areas, because it's softer.
It
The 4K
favored
is
by dark
sharper.
sky guidelines.
Yeah, for the 4K is sharper, infused,
I'll-
improves visibility.
So I will give you a direct example. If you drive up Perkman Avenue, once you go into Mount Penn and even Lower Alsace, all of those LEDs have been converted over to 4K style. So they're much brighter on the eyes, almost like those lights in the parking lot. If you drive around St. Lawrence now, they're going to reflect more of the 3K because they're more of an orange glow.
You just sold me right there. I can't even go 3.
Just the name alone.
And as an engineer, I prefer the 4K.
I prefer 4.
We have a lot of pedestrian, safety issues.
Or 3 or 4.
Well,
You wanna stay?
certainly on highways and stuff, St. Lawrence Avenue and stuff, I think people are toward the 4K.
But you're gonna invalidate that dark sky standard.
It's one size fits all, I guess.
What were you, Reverend? Where were you at?
3.
3? There's 2 3s right now. Go ahead, Steve. Could come down to Corey.
She doesn't have a vote.
There's a
It's
tie.
high.
That's true.
Terrible time to have this in the packet.
I'll just be happy if
I
they
feel
stay
like
on.
I'm nervous here.
I was happy with the one.
Do you want to call a lifeline?
I don't know if you can even table this. They asked this for
Yeah.
sooner than later.
Personally, I don't like the 4, but I'm gonna go with the 4.
Okay, so Warren, so we have 2 3s and 1 4. So Warren, you think the 4? So we'll let Corey decide. Our first official business in how many years?
All right, Corey, it's up to you.
Yeah. We can look like Mount Penn, or we can look different. What do you want?
Well, let's not say that. I would go with Pam's recommendation and do the 4K.
So be it. Moving on. Executive session. Is there a motion to go out?
We need a motion.
You do.
We don't need a motion for that. Can he just call it?
You took the straw votes to have.
Is there a motion to tell Med Ed to move all our streetlights to the 4K color standard?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been moved second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? I oppose. So,
I say you have to validate Corey's tiebreaker.
yeah.
so.
So,
So 2-2.
is there a motion to move in executive session?
Move that we go into executive session to discuss.
Has it been second?
Second.
Motion been moved second, go into executive session. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Please kill our
We
feet.
don't need-
Nay. All opposed, motion passes. We're now back in our general session. Is there a motion to authorize the solicitor to petition to intervene on the current
Mandamus action.
mandamus action
Yeah.
of Mount Penn and Mount Penn Borough Authority?
So moved. Second.
Motion moved and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Is there any other business, or is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
Motion been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed. Thanks all for your time.
Thanks for having us.